All right, everybody. Thank you guys for being patient while I take a break there, right? And so we finally beat Sparklight. If you expected Sparklight, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we finally beat that damn game. It's finally over with. What is going on in chat? Oh, okay. You guys talking about the loyalty coins? They're basically like they're a rip-off of Mixer. I mean, let's face facts. They ripped off of Mixer. They're Sparks, basically. How's everybody in the chat doing today? Let me get my phone. How's everybody doing? They were explaining how things work to the noob. Me. Oh, you're a noob? Oh, okay. Are you a real rocket scientist? I mean, sure. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do a space program game, right? How's everybody doing? I want to say hello to everybody in the chat, by the way. Let's see who we got in here. We got I see James is in here. Metal Max 007, Soonrays, Wiz. Kerbal is in here. How you doing, girl? What's up? We gotta play some games together. We gotta play some Call of Duty. I see that you're ranked like real high up on the list, but girl, we gotta get some Call of Duty games in together. We gotta figure out how we can coordinate our streams and play some COD together. I believe you play on Xbox, like I do. I think, but. For those who don't know, Kerbal, she's a fantastic streamer. She plays a lot of first-person shooters. You guys can go check her out, twitch.tv/. It's Kerbal_ is her stream. Go check her out. She's amazing. Yeah, there we go. Give her a shout out there. And she has been playing Modern Warfare. I've been playing a ton of Modern Warfare as well. I actually played some of that over the past two days when I was sick, or when I've been sick. I've been playing Modern Warfare, trying to get to level 55 to level up. And she's also part of the great Team B42 Empire that we are also a part of as well. That's our primary Twitch group here, so go check her out. She's a fantastic streamer. I believe she's French, right? She's French. She's got an accent, so go check her out. She is an excellent streamer. We got Get Even. How you doing? Jigoku, Justy, Clinkers, Larry Darren, Marty, Seppi, Peaceful Fire, Super Derage, the Reals Gar, and Windsock. How are y'all doing today? It's good to see all of you here. My name is Brian, and I am one of the many Twitch streamers here on the Dragon Bloggers Twitch channel. I'm also a journalist, a writer, reporter, content creator, a man of many hats. I have been a part of Dragon Blogger for a long time. We're going to go on 8 years next year. And I'm going to be in the process of doing an special article, that's going to come out in January. It's going to be my top 10 games of the 2010s. It's my 10 for 10, and that's going to be coming out sometime in January. My top 10 games of the decade, and I'm going to roll back to the first to 2010. I'm going to peer through each year, see what some of the top games were. It's going to be hard to decide because there was some really great games came out this decade, and I'm going to try to give you guys a list of my top 10. Now, I'm kind of deciding if I want to do them in order. If I want to do them in order, or if I just want to say in no particular order. Because I think if I do in no particular order, it'll be a little bit easier. Because trying to pick the number one of the decade would be very, very hard. So, it's going to be my top 10 games of the 2010s. And that's going to be coming out in mid to late January. So I got to give myself some time for that. As far as conventions go, please check out my latest pros and cons. It's my convention review series. I travel to many cons throughout the year, and I know This year was kind of hard. I missed doing some reviews of some conventions, but I'm going to get back on top of that next year. Pros and Cons is a series of is my convention review series where I travel to conventions and I write reviews about the cons that I go to. Oh, that's nice, $100 Steam giveaway. So you guys can go to dragonblogger.com. I done a review of GalaxyCon Louisville, which is literally like 30 minutes away from where I live. I'm just outside of Louisville. I'm in the Louisville area, and I just recently moved down here about a month ago, and I love it down here. And I'll be able to do some reviews of more conventions in Kentucky. And so my first, I end the year with a Louisville Con, and I'm going to begin the year with a Louisville Con because in March, first weekend of March, I'll be headed to Louisville Arcade Expo for the third year in a row to review, which I believe, in my opinion, is my favorite expo / con of the year. Several hundred pinball machines, several hundred arcade machines, and almost every known video game console that has been released, all in one location, and I can play as much as I want for the whole weekend. So be on the lookout for that. That's coming up in March, first weekend of March. So yeah. I got to suggest to your top 10, separate by game type. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to separate by game type because that's going to be a real long article. I don't want to do 10 action games, 10 RPGs. No, it's going to be a mixture. It's going to be a mixture. And I think the more I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to make it a simple top 10 games in no particular order. That would make the article way too long, way too winded if I do action adventure RPGs. It'll be too long. So I'm not going to do choose one for each of 10 games. Nah, I don't want to do that either because there's so many games that I thought were good that are going to be, I might have 2 RPGs in there, or maybe I'll have an action adventure in there. So I'm going to just do 10 for 10. So yeah. Yep. But I'm looking forward to it. But I also do reviews on our YouTube channel, youtube.com / dragonblogger. And I do a series called Is It Good? Where I review video games in a video format. You guys can go check that out as well. Anyway, let's get into Kerbal. Kerbal Space Program. Alright, nobody wanted to hear that. Alright, let's see. This game, I've never played this game before. I've seen it played before. And I know that it's about trying to... The goal is to get to outer space. Let's see. Yeah, let's do 24-hour days. I don't want to display Kerbal time. No 6-hour days. Let's see. Because I'll get confused. Controls. Okay. Alright. I've seen people play this game. And start a new game. Let's do career mode. And let's jump into it. I did kind of mess around with this game a little bit, but I think I only did like maybe 2 minutes of this game when I messed around just to see. So let's see. All right, Gene Kerman. Nice to meet you. I'm Gene Kerman, flight director and your guide for this quick introduction. This is the Space Center. From here, you can manage all aspects of the space program. Feel free to have a look around. Use the right stick to move the camera. Press X over the Space Center facilities to view more information about them. Press A when you're ready to head inside. If you need more information, check out the training section on the main menu. Thanks, I've got it. Okay. You've decided to use radio preset. You can open the radial menu by holding Y. It displays different options to rapidly execute commands. In current scene. Okay. Is there any information I might need in that top right corner? Hold on a second, guys. There we go. You can open the radial menu by holding Y. You can toggle between normal cursor mode, pressing left stick. Cursor mode allows you to interact with A over several items. Reminder, please consult controls in the apps section for full details. The administration building may not seem like a very exciting place at first, but here is where all our strategic decisions are made. The graphics are kind of meh, but are they? I'm guessing they're supposed to be that way. Be right back. Putting the Sproglets to bed. We got the astronaut complex. Contains the living and recreation spaces for all of our crew members. New applicants also apply here to be recruited. Okay. Flagpole. This is our official flag of the space program, or we could change it. Okay. The launch pad. Where the hell that's at? Oh, it's over here. Okay. This is where vessels built at the VAB are launched. We are reasonably confident it's a safe enough distance from everything else. Mission control. All available contracts can be managed. It also offers a very nice view of launch sites for anyone who are brave enough to be so close to a launching craft. R&D facility. Our team of scientists works hard to crunch the data received from mission experiments. Here, all research technologies can be viewed and new ones discovered. At the runway, spacecraft built in the spaceplane hangar. Have a long flat surface to reach takeoff speed. Conceivably, such aircraft could even land back on it. Okay. The spaceplane hangar allows construction of spacecraft designed to be launched from the runway. At the tracking station, all ongoing missions can be viewed and focused. Landed craft can be recovered from here as well. Give me just a second. Okay. Vehicle assembly building. The VAB is where spacecraft are designed and built before being moved over to the launch pad. Okay, let's look at the administrative building. Let's do these one by one. Let's go in here. Mortimer Kerman. Finances. We can likely raise some money by exploiting the attention that we get out of new successful ventures to remind the well-to-do Kerbals out there support and contents of their wallets. This is probably going to be seen as a bit cheeky of us, so be prepared to face some backlash from the public. Takes 5% rotation gains, yields. Okay. Patents licensing, alright. Oh shit, okay. Whoa, hold on. We must be a dire straits to be considering such an option, equipping a public grant. Okay. Okay. Ready? Astronaut complex contains the living and recreation spaces for all of our crew members. New applicants also apply here to be recruited. Okay. I feel like no matter where I put this I'm gonna put it in the bottom middle. My broadcast bar. Yeah, that's better. Higher. There's all named Kerman. Pilot, scientist, engineer, pilot. Okay. Alright, let's not worry about hiring somebody. Flagpole. Ooh. Ooh. Could use NASA. You can actually use NASA. That's kind of funny. Well, we could be NASA. It could be Squad. I wish we had the Dragon Blogger logo to put in here. Kind of dope. Put the DB logo in here. This game is so much fun and the physics are awesome in this. You can add it on the PC. Yeah. We'll do NASA. This will be fun. Launchpad is where vessels are built. Okay, I gotta go to the VAB first, alright. Mission control. Gather scientific data from Kerbal. Give us a quick crew report for launching. It's fine if any lights on the control panel are flashing. Just give it a quick swift kick. Okay. Launch our first vessel. A very controlled bang, preferably. Haha, go into space. Let's gather scientific data. Research and development. Ooh. Or basic rocketry. How hard can rocket science be anyway? That's what I'm saying. Not enough science to research that. Well, damn. Kerbal. Duna, Kerbal, Eve, Moho, and the Sun. This is great. Let's see the runway. There's nothing there. Space plane hangar. What's in the space plane hangar? Is there any in there? Hello. I'm Werner von Kerbal, Chief Rocketry Engineer. This is the space plane hangar where here is where we will build spacecraft that later will take off on runway. On your left, you'll find components to construct your own space plane. Select starting part. Then attach others to build it. To build. God, I can't read. You can then have a look around with right stick. We just got this place cleaned up, so try not to mess it up too much. If you need more guidance on how to build spacecraft, have a look at the training section at the main menu, okay? So, I'm guessing to start we need a... Oh man. Structure? Oh man. Oh boy. Maybe that's a parachute. Oh boy. So well worth doing the training. Where's the training at? How do I do the training? That's the main menu, right? Let's save the game. I think the training is, yeah, here we go. Alright, let's do training. Alright, getting started in basic construction. Okay, here we go. Alright, we're gonna go do the training. Alright. Welcome to today's lecture on vessel construction. I'm Werner von Kerman. Whether you want to put a satellite into orbit, make a transcontinental flight, or step onto the very surface of the moon, you're going to need to build yourself a ship. It'd be pretty easy even if you're not a famous rocket scientist like myself. In this tutorial, I will first show you around the Kerbal Space Center and take you to the vehicle assembly building where you'll learn how to construct a simple ship. We'll cover adding and removing parts, what the parts do, how to change the performance settings of the parts which have that option, and how to control staging. At the end of the tutorial, you will have a craft fit for a quick hop from the launch pad. At each step, I will lock out all controls other than the ones you need for that step. To change the focus to the tutorial window, use RB and Y. You can press A next to proceed to the next step. If you manage to mess it up, it took even me some time to become as skilled as I am now, you can press the back button to go back and fix things. It won't light up unless you do mess up. We are now at the Kerbal Space Center. I'll give you a quick rundown on how to get around. The KSC for short is home to the pinnacle of Kerbal endeavor and achievements for space exploration. Using the facilities you can see here, you will be able to manage your space program, create rockets and planes, track your Kerbal explorers as they roam the solar system, find exciting new uses for explosive substances, and in case of emergency, hire more Kerbals. To find out about each of the facilities, you can select each facility icon. If you need to repair a structure or upgrade them in career, you can do this by pressing X while selecting them. Take some time to select the buildings and see what they each are. God, I can't read. And when you're ready, enter the vehicle assembly building of the VAB. Okay. Okay. Launch pad, runway. Okay. Spaceplane hangar. Okay. Tracking station. Alright, let's go to the vehicle assembly building. Let's check it out. We're going to do the training. We're going to do the training first. Very good. What you see in the middle of this screen, see we're in NASA. It's a construction area. This is where parts are placed and your craft is constructed. On the left side of the screen is the parts toolbox. It will show you all the parts you have available in each of the different categories once they are ready to pick, that is. If you want your craft to be controllable, you need a command module, and it's best to make it the first part you place. This part will either contain some plucky Kerbal crew or an automated pilot mechanism. As we're just starting, there's only one choice. Go ahead and pick that command module from the pods tab. Okay. This is the MK1 command pod. Okay. Select it. After at least one part is placed, you can look around for the following controls. Right stick pan the camera, orbit the camera, zoom in. Oh, that's kind of nice. Press RB and Y to talk with me. Next. If you like your pod to be able to make more than one flight, he or she will have to return safely to the ground, or water, on Kerbin. Parachutes are a simple way to make sure that happens. They can be found in the utility tab. Okay. When you're choosing parts, you can view the details of available parts by selecting them in the toolbox. When info is available, most parts have an additional information window which can be opened by pressing X. Okay. Note that the parachute states the effective diameter in each state and what the maximum safe speed for deployment is. Safe deploy speed at home approximately 264 miles. Oh, okay. Go ahead and select and move it to the top of the command module. Or command pod. Set the green sphere at the bottom of the parachute lines up with the green sphere at the top of the pod. Press A again to attach it. Alright, cool. Alright. Next. Some parts like our parachute here have configurable options. To see these, we need to show the cursor by pressing left stick and then press X on the parachute. We just attach to the pod. Do that now and you will see available parameters. Okay. On the parachute, you will see that we can adjust the altitude and the atmospheric pressure at which to open. That setting can be quite useful in distant worlds. For now, let's check that the opening height on the chute is at least 1,000 meters. Because safety is Kerbal after all. For the minimum pressure slider, move it a bit to the right to 0.02. Can I just type it in? .2. Okay. Oh shit, altitude needs to be 1,000 meters. Whoops. There we go. What's up, Kerbal? How you doing, girl? What's up, girl? It's good to see you. Everybody go give Kerbal a quick follow. Go give her a follow. Looking like a pro. Give me a second. Go give Kerbal a follow, everybody. She's fantastic. Hopefully her and I can play some Call of Duty together. Okay, let's keep going. Press A on the Engines tab. Engines. Show the available engines. Oh wait, how do I... Hold on. Hold on, how do I exit out of that damn... Whoa, shit. How do I get out of that stupid... What's up, Pi? How you doing? It's great to see ya. I'm on the console version. I hope I can forgive the devs. Yeah, I'll be able to. It's fine. Oh my god, how do you get rid of it? How do you get rid of it? I'm just trying to get rid of this stupid screen. So, how do you get rid of this? I'll close that pen. I'm hitting B. I'm hitting B. I'm hitting B though. Wait, hold on. Oh my god, I don't know how I did that, but I did it. Good god, alright. Okay, we're good. Whew. Grab one and connect it to the bottom of the pod. Okay. Hold on. Oh my god, they made these controls. How do I zoom out? How do I zoom out? Oh my lord. No, I don't want the radial menu. I want to zoom out. Oh, there it is. Oh my god, thank god. Alright. Goodness. Okay. We got it attached. Alright. Next. Oh, I forgot you're just starting out. You're not a famous rocket scientist. Yes, I am. And to make that craft survivable as it stands, you'd have to be better at rocket science than me. Ha! Possible. Problem with that craft is that this solid rocket is too powerful for the payload. A single small pod. Shoot, you'll either burn up on ascent from going too fast or burn it from coming back down. Even if you survive that, the craft's mass will cause it to fall too fast for the parachute to operate properly and you hit the surface before it can stop you. Okay, I promised to see Chad change that to make it work in a later tutorial, but now let's continue. Well, at least this way I get to tell you about moving parts. Show the cursor by pressing left stick, pick up the back thumper, and drop it back over the parts toolbox. What? Pick up the back. Pick up the what? What is the back? Hold on. Dude, what now? The back... What? Pick up the back thumper. The rocket is the back thumper. Oh, okay. Drop it back over the parts toolbox. I did. What? What? Did I fuck it up? Oh shit, I fucked up, didn't I? What'd I just do? Yeah, I picked up everything and put it back in the toolbox, right? Oh shit! No. Oh god, I fucked up so bad. Back. Back. Oh, Jesus. I fucked this up so bad. Like, this is why... Let's put that back in there. Alright. Oh, God. I did. Right, it's there. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God, I suck at this. Guys, this is why you don't let me build rockets. Like, ever. Oh my. Okay. We got it. Go. How do I go to the next part of the... Oh god. Did I really fuck up the... I think we screwed up the... I think we fucked up the actual game. I fucked this up so bad, guys. What am I doing? Alright, utility menu. There's nothing there. It must be. Hold on. Hold on. Let's take this. Let's throw this shit in here. Alright, let's try it again. Okay, pods. Okay, there it is. Oh god, we didn't fuck up. Okay. Parachute, got it. Right, parachute. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Parachute. Placed. Done. Okay. Okay, that's how you do it. Alright, it needs to be what? 0.2? There we go. There we go. All right, oh god, we're finally there. Okay, press A on the engines. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there we go. Okay. Show the cursor by pressing on the shape. Pick up the back thumper. Oh, okay, the rocket. Okay. There we go. Okay. Whew. All right. Thank you. Instead, let's add the solid motor. That's a much better, match for a ship of this size. At the start of your career, you will have what I consider rubbish parts. Literally, the motor here looks like it may well be a converted trash can. That said, it does have enough oomph to get this little crap moving skyward and quickly. As you progress, you'll be able to unlock more engines and other parts. For now, though, let's pick up the RT-5 Flea and connect it to the bottom of the rocket. Why do you just say, pick up the rocket? I'm not going to call them by their names the whole time I'm playing this game. Like, that's not going to happen. So attaching it there. Okay. Let's do, how do I zoom in the camera? That way? Alright, perfect. And then... Good, alright. Okay, nice one. You built the simplest survivable craft possible. We could go launch this right now, but it might be safe to explain one other thing first. In the bottom right, you will see the staging stack. It's the box with the number... What now? With the number 0 and icons for the parachute and engine in it. This stack shows us which parts, there we go, move him over here, will be activated as we stage our rocket. What this shows is that when we activate the next stage, both the engine and the parachute will be triggered. While it could be considered funny to open the chute and fire the motor at the same time, it's not going to give you much of a flight. To fix this, we need to separate the engine and chute in 2 stages. Press Y to open the radial menu and select Edit Stages. Okay. You will see a little plus and a minus up here to lift the box. Press A on the plus button to add a new stage. If you add too many, press A on the minus button. We make sure you have precisely 2 stages. Okay. Alright. Okay, now we gotta move you over here, bub. Nice one. You built the simplest. Blah, 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 blah. We built 2 stages. Oh, I see what he means. Like, there we go. All right. Excellent. It's important to note that the stages activate from the highest number and then count down. So our first stage will be stage 1, the engine, and our second one will be stage 0, the chute. Now move the engine icon from stage 0 down to stage 1 to give our pilot some comfort. Okay, let's... Okay. Oh, I see. So I was thinking it was like this was the okay. So last stage. So the final stage is on top. Okay. So does it go? So it's whatever's at the bottom is first, and at the top is the second, because it says our first stage will be stage 1. Do they not see how confusing that can be? So it literally. Why would they do it that way? Why would they? That's so weird. Why not go in order top to bottom? 0 is the final stage. Okay. That's so weird, but alright. That's it. We now have a safe, well, relatively safe craft ready to go. Let's make sure that if we need this design again, we have to build it all from scratch. At the top of the screen, you'll see a name for our craft. Untitled spacecraft doesn't seem too majestic. Why don't you change it to be something more your style, and you can add a description if you'd like to. Then you use the load screens later. These names and descriptions help you get to grab the right vessel. Use the pause menu to change the vessel's name. Ooh. Let's change the name. Rename craft. We're gonna name it Clinkers. This is Clinkers 71 craft. Call it Bob or DB1. No, we're gonna name it Clinkers. Clinkers 71. I'm gonna name all my crafts after people in chat. There we go. Alright. Feel free to play around with the parts and techniques I've shown you. When you're ready to continue, use pause menu to exit. Back at the training menu, try the basic flight tutorial to learn how to fly this little craft. And then the intermediate construction tutorial can teach you more about the editor. Okay. It's just playing around. Done. Cool. Alright. We can end the scenario. Cool. So we finished that one. So we finished the first one. Now let's learn basic flight. Now let's learn how to fly. Ooh boy. This might be a rough one. Welcome to the Kerbal Space Center Launch Facility. I'm Gene Kerman. Now we'll teach you the basics of piloting a spacecraft. Today we will do a run-through of all the important controls for your spacecraft. Our little hopper from your basic construction lesson with Werner may not have all of them, but we'll do a full run-through once and see how it flies. Okay. Flying a spacecraft is all about being in control of generally very chaotic situation. As a pilot, your main flight controls will affect the pitch, yaw, and roll of the ship. Let's look at those first. All the other controls will be locked until they're needed before this tutorial is closed. Pitch, yaw, and roll are the 3 directions you will rotate your craft. To help you visualize these, we've taken a holiday snap of the hopper below. Okay, so yaw rotates the ship like left and right, the pitch up and down, and the roll is, well, obviously. Alright, cool. Now we'll show how we rotate in these directions. You control your ship's rotation using these controls. Obviously, pitch it is up and down, left stick, and yaw is left and right. Roll is left and right triggers. Okay, by controlling pitch, yaw, and roll together, you can keep the ship in a controlled flight. Try it now. Notice the indicator on the lower left side move as you provide control input. Okay. Throttle plus pitch, yaw, and roll are the main controls you'll need to master for a successful crash-free flight. We'll skip over the throttle control for now, as this vessel has no need for it. Don't worry, I'll explain it another time when it's of use. Remember that all these controls have a limited amount of effectiveness, so bigger, heavier ships will probably respond much more sluggishly to the controls than a little small one. It's also good to keep in mind that as stages are separated from the ship, it'll become lighter, and this will usually mean easier to control. Next, let's look at the rest of the flight controls. Okay. In flight, all the planning you put into the staging sequence of your ship comes into play, from launch to the final deployment of the descent parachutes. You can control the activation of several of the ship's parts by activating stages. A to launch, activate next stage. Notice the stage indicator in the lower left corner shows the currently active stage. Okay. Since we haven't launched it yet, it's showing the first stage is active. I have your staging controls locked for now, so the stage indicator is glowing purple. One more thing on staging. If the staging setup is causing strife, you change your mind about something, you can edit the stage sequence on the fly. Pun intended. No need to go back to the assembly facility. That's kind of nice. An important part of flying is knowing how your ship is oriented and where it's going. That's why a good pilot is always aware of the ship's altitude, where it is pointing, and its velocity vector, where it's going. These aren't always the same direction, and as your skills improve, you should pick up on these. The big round instrument on the lower center of the screen is called the Naviball. This device sums up most of the critical information needed for proper death-free flight. Here you see the ship's nose in relation to the horizon. When you're not pointing straight up, it's easily visible as a line between blue sky and the brown ground, as well as its heading, compass bearing, and speed. You also get several icons that indicate things like your current velocity vector, but we'll have a look at those later. In the top center part of the screen, you have your altimeter, vertical speed indicator, and atmosphere gauges. The altimeter will show the distance to the planet's surface at sea level. This means the actual surface may be much closer, so watch out for the ground when landing. Your vertical speed indicator shows how quickly your altitude is changing. When launching, it's considered best to keep this gauge pointing up. The atmosphere gauge indicates how deep the ship is in the planet's atmosphere. This helps you know if the ship is high enough for orbiting without losing speed to air resistance, or judge how effective wings and controls surfaces will be. One last thing before we give this rocket the green light. In the staging stack, you can see the indicator for your parachute. This indicator shows when the chute will be activated by staging. You already know that, but the background will also change color to indicate when it is safe to stage the parachute, and the foreground, the parachute bit of the icon itself, will change color depending on the parachute state. Note, however, that by default, parachutes will not deploy when unsafe, even if you stage them. The left three show safety: safe, risky, and unsafe to deploy. The chute is unstaged, white, in the left three. The right three show state after staging: armed, deployed, cut, or shredded. When you are familiar with chute icon colors, we can move on. Okay. Okay, enough talk. I'll unlock the flight controls, and you'll be clear for launch. At any time, you may press pause to pause the game. In the pause menu, you can restart the flight or end this tutorial. Now get yourself prepared in A when ready to launch. Oh boy. That's cool. We're going up, boys. Look at that. Whoa. Look at that. 12,000. Almost at 13,000. Oh, we're almost out of here. Oh, oh, baby. Your solid motor has burned out. You're passing Aposis, the highest point on your flight. Your speed is low enough that it's safe to stage again to deploy the suit. Do so now before you speed up again and hit the surface. You've armed the parachute. Now time to wait to get low enough and slow down enough for it to deploy safely. Don't worry, it will do so automatically now. If you didn't fly high enough, you may not have enough air under you to slow down before you crash. I think it's going to do it at 1,000, right? That's what we said for it to do. Let's sit back and enjoy the descent. That was cool. That was really cool. Is it 1,000, 100,000 meters? There it is. Remember we set it for 1,000. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen. We've done it. That was super cool. That's super cool. I love rockets, man. I love space. But we didn't even go into outer space. I don't know what part of the atmosphere we went into, but we didn't go to outer space. It looked like we were almost in outer space, though. That was so cool. That was so cool. The Kerbal has landed. Well done, you survived your first quick flight. When you're landed or splashed on Kerbin, and not in training, you can move the cursor just above the altimeter and press A on the recover button to ask to be picked up. I've also unlocked the crew hatch, so if you feel like going out for a walk or swim, you can change to cursor mode and press left stick, and then press A on the EVA button. It'll pop up when you move the cursor over the portrait of the Kerbal you want to take for a walk. You can do it just for fun and to collect the surface sample. This concludes today's lesson. Text to training. I can do that? Oh, that's cool. No way. No way. No way. Oh my god. Oh god, we're God. We're... Oh, that's so cool! Oh, that's so cool! Look at it. Oh, oh shit. He jumped up. Okay, this is kind of dope. There's a better view. What's up, little dude? Oh! Can he board? Oh, Jesus! Jesus. Climb it. Climb it. The helmet is heavy, so you fall when you jump. This is cool. Alright. So dump this one. Cover vessel. That's cool. That's kind of cool. That was pretty sweet. That was pretty cool. Pretty neat. Checking out the achievements here. Okay. Alright, let's keep going. Let's train some more. More training. Ooh, intermediate. Intermediate construction. Let's see what we got here. Now you can see why I love this game. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat game. It's definitely different. I've seen people play this before, so it's kind of neat. Alright. Hello again. Glad you could come back. Get started. Go ahead into the VAB, and I'll give you an overview of what we're building today. Okay. We're building today. Here we are again. Now to business. If you remember, in our last construction tutorial, we covered how to build a simple hopper, some of the basic construction area. In this tutorial, we'll expand our knowledge of some of the more useful features in the VAB. We'll build a more complex craft that will be able to get us out of the atmosphere. To build our new design, let's start with the craft we built in the basic construction tutorial, though this one is just called Hopper. This will save us a little bit of time, and the accounting department is always happy when we save on time. Open the pause menu. Select open craft, load the hopper, and remove its flea motor. Okay. Hopper. Okay. Remove its flea motor. Okay. Unlike last time, we won't be bringing the whole vessel back. so we can change our parachute stats from what we used before. In cursor mode, press X on the parachute and verify that its deployment altitude is set to 100,000 as last time, but also set the minimum pressure slider all the way to the right, 70.75 atmospheres. That correlates to an altitude on Kerbal of about 2 kilometers. It means a much shorter time hanging around during descent. Okay, so he wants it all the way to the right. Okay. Let's change the name of your craft and description if you want, so that we still have our trash. So that we still have our trash can special for later on. All right, let's do rename craft. DB trash. DB trash can. We're going to give the ship some additional purpose by attaching a science experiment. We can run these experiments during our travels to get valuable science data for Kerbal kind. What's going on, Savage? How you doing, Savage? It's good to see you. There are a number of science experiments to be performed, but at the moment we only have the mystery goo containment unit available. Switch to the science tab to look at it. Okay. This is one of the most basic scientific experiments Kerbal scientists have devised, and one of the first things they want to try and understand better. I mean, they don't even know what color the goo is. When you pick up the part, you'll see it's designed to attach to the sides of other parts, i.e. radially. If we attach only one of these, then during flight our craft will be unbalanced. The only way to solve this is to add an extra goo container on the opposite side of the rocket so they balance. Luckily we have a symmetry tool to help here. These buttons control symmetry, highlighted, and an angle snap can be found in the lower left of the screen. Open the radial menu by pressing Y, select change symmetry count, select this to radial 2, and then pick up and place a mystery goo container on the side of the pod near the top. Okay, so place it on the side of the pod. Okay. Notice the second one's been placed opposite the first. If you had already placed the lone canister, pick it up, make sure symmetry is set correct, and place it again. That's actually cool. Okay, so symmetry. That's kind of nice. Don't cover the hatch of the chute. Oh, good point. Good point here. Near the nose of the pod, so like okay, there we go. If we had too many more parts here, the craft we are making will be too heavy. It's a good point. Thanks for telling me that. It's kind of cool. To survive re-entry safely, and too heavy to be slowed by a parachute leading to sudden impact syndrome. So we need to add a decoupler below the pod. Decouplers can be found in the coupling tab. And we'll split the craft when we no longer need the lower parts. We won't be able to recover the discarded parts, but at least our craft and our Kerbal will survive re-entry and landing. Decouplers can be used in many ways, but for now let's just add one of these to the bottom of the pod. Go to the coupling tab, grab a TR. What? Well, that's the wrong one, but okay. 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 Well, he told me the name. He told me the raw name of the part, but it's whatever. Well done. You'll recall, I hope, that in the previous tutorial we had to adjust the staging stack when we added the engine to our earlier rocket. When you add a decoupler, the extra stage is automatically added to the stack so that any new parts below the decoupler won't be staged at the same time as those above it. You can, of course, still move all these around, but hopefully this will save you some time as you go. If you ever want to return to this default staging setup, press the reset button at the bottom of the staging stack. This time we're going to use a liquid propellant rocket engine. Unlike solid rocket motors, these engines don't carry their own propellants with them. So we need to add some fuel tanks. Go to the fuel tanks tab. We are still using these parts, these early parts, right? Fuel tanks tab. We're going to need 5 of these tanks to get space. Before you grab 5 tanks from the part toolbox, though, let me give you a tip, because efficiency is the middle name. It goes right after Vaughn. When you place the first tank on the rocket, you can duplicate that by holding the X button and pressing on the tank with A. You can do this on the bottom tank a few times and quickly get 5 of these attached without having to go back to the toolbox. Alright, so I can go A. I like that. One, two, three, four. Cool. Good. Switch over to the engines tab now. The swivel engine you see here is obviously different from the flea we used before. This is a liquid engine and it needs and burns both liquid fuel and oxidizer. It is normal that your sound comes a few moments after your image showing you speaking. Yeah, it does that. I don't know why. I can't fix it. I'm on an Xbox. It sucks. I don't know why. I don't know why it does that. I'm sorry. Yeah, it sucks. I hate that it does that. Attach the swivel to the bottom of the rocket stack now and keep an eye on the staging stack, see how it changes. Okay, let's put this on the bottom. Cool. We're almost there and you're doing fine, but maybe not as speedily as someone with my caliber, though. The sound, etc. is okay in a browser. Oh, is it only doing that on mobile? That's weird. Alright. The sound, etc. is okay in a browser. I'm on browser or the PC app. Oh, so you don't have a delay then. Okay. Last thing we are going to need to do is give this rocket a little better stability so it keeps going the way we want it to go. We will achieve this by adding some fins near the bottom of the rocket. Fins can be found in the aerodynamics tab. Set the symmetry mode to ×4. And you can turn on angle snap, opening the radio manual, selecting toggle angle snap. That will help you align the fins neatly. Okay. Did it put them on? Oh shit, it didn't. I don't know why I did that. Oh, bottom of the rocket, that's why. Up a basic fin. Drop a basic fin. What? Oh, I see. I see. So it wants me to. Oh, I get it. I get it. All right. Excellent. So, got it. We've now got a rocket that will let us reach for the star. Say reach in a suborbit capable rocket, and about how to use some of the shortcuts that are in here. Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna hang around a bit, try your hand at other things too, or perhaps you could look at the next lesson on suborbital flight, where we'll see just how well this rocket. Or I could do this. If you could also, if you could show yourself out of the construction facility with the proper option of the pause menu when you're done experimenting, that'd be great. Zane. Any of us? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's end this. We'll save. Don't save. Alright. Let's do the next training, which is suborbital flight. We're getting there. We're getting to outer space, y'all. Outer space. I want to go to outer space. Now. Oh shit. Hello again. Glad you can make it back. Today we'll be taking an exciting step, getting our first Kerbal in space. Yep, with a capital S. Hopefully you remember the controls discussed in basic flight tutorial. You can always play a scenario again for a reminder. Freddy, let's get started. Let's do it. Alright, your mission today is to make a short suborbital, less than orbital flight out over the water to the east. It's a nice arcing path that ensures a gentle, survivable re-entry. Straight up and straight down is not so good for survival. I set up the pink target indicator on the naviball as aim point, but do note that this is not the case for normal missions. Okay. Starting with the nose pointing straight up on the launch pad at 90 degrees elevation from the eastern horizon. Hold on. Tilt east to 80 degrees elevation on the navball. What? After burnout, coast up into space, have a look around, prepare for entry, lastly enter land safe. Once we reach burnout, we'll have a bit more time to discuss some other things. Oh boy, here we go. This is when it starts to get seriously good fun. Alright, I trust you. Give me a second here. Sorry, guys. Okay. 80 degrees is the first mark before the numbers are shown, almost in the center. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Alright. Throttle is controlled by the following buttons. Throttle up, throttle down. Throttle max, throttle cutoff. Okay. SAS stands for Stability Augmentation System. Although Kerbal, astronauts usually refer to it as Sickness Avoidance Scheme. Whatever it stands for, what it does is try to stop the ship from spinning around using the computer-controlled auto-torque drive compensator technology to counteract the rotation of the ship. In its simplest mode, it will keep the ship aligned with the orientation it has when you turn SAS on, or if you pitch, yaw, roll while SAS is on, the orientation when you release the controls. SAS can be toggled by pressing B. Another way to toggle it would be pressing left to open the action groups menu. Okay, if you have problems following the maneuvers, once you enable SAS and left off, you can press LB and Y to open the SAS radio menu. There you can target mode at your 9. Alternatively, you can use the cursor, press left to toggle, press A on the small red button to the left nav ball that has a miniature target indicator on it, which is this one of these, I believe. Yeah, that one's stability assist. Yep. That will cause SAS to follow the target indicator and fly for you. Note, this autopiloting function will not be available until you are flying. Okay. This craft has a bit too much engine, so we're going to throttle down for launch. Set your throttle to 2/3. Upper of the 2 middle notches on the slider. Also, turn on SAS to help control things. Press B. It'll keep you pointed where you want to be pointed. So we're going to throttle down to third. The upper of the two middle notches on the slider. Really? So your throttle to 2/3 upper of the two middle notches on the slider. Oh, okay, there it is. During this lesson, some of the information is quite detailed and could take a while to read. This is a short orbital hop, and I don't want you to miss anything important. I will place a warning at the top of pages where you might want to pause the game to read. A warning like this, warning you tell it, okay. Cool. Enough talk. I'll unlock the rest of the flight controls and you'll be clear to launch. You can pause the game anytime and be able to target marker on the nav ball. Give it a look to make sure you see it. Okay. And let's get ready to light this candle. Double check on your throttle set to 2/3. And hit A when you're ready to launch. Remember, start turning at 50 ms. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I'm sure we'll get to let the SAS keep the craft steady for a while as we accelerate further. Alright, cool. Now go ahead and throttle up to full power, alright? So up to these higher speeds you might start to see some heat effects, but we will clear the atmosphere before it gets too hot. Hold the course and we'll reach... Okay. Great work. You've succeeded in getting your ship on a trajectory bound for space. Houston, we have liftoff. For space. I've now set your target indicator to align with your velocity vector. That will minimize drag by turning the small side of the vehicle into the airflow. Somewhere around here you will see the nav ball speed indicator auto switch from surface to orbit, accompanied by the speed number jumping. Go ahead and switch it back to surface mode by pressing left stick button to toggle the cursor mode. Press A on it until it says surface again. Okay. You might have noticed some flickering flames near the end of our burn there, which is due to the high speed of your craft in the atmosphere. Normally our ascent would be a little slower, but I'm sure my friend Werner has helped you build a ship that can withstand this heat. And besides, this high and this slow, you'll be fine. If you want to have a look at your trajectory, you can switch to the map. You can also access it through the radio. Have a look at your predicted path. Come back to flight mode again. It's kind of cool. This is cool. Aww. We're in space, y'all. Now that we are coasting our way to Apophis, that's the highest point on our current path, we've got a little time to chat. Once you clear the atmosphere, we'll go over what you can do in space. Ooh, check it out. Check it out. While we float up here beyond the atmosphere, I'll quickly tell you about a couple things you can do. With an advanced enough astronaut complex in the KSC, we can train our Kerbals to be able to spacewalk or EVA, although we won't be doing that on this flight. Also, when we are carrying science devices like our goo containers, we can perform experiments. Now, by opening their action menu, toggle the cursor by pressing stick over the. I'll let you know when it's time for the level. I've clumped into a sphere to become brittle. Interesting. This is pretty damn cool. This is pretty damn cool. Are you on? Why are you on? Because apparently that can cause sound. No, I'm not in a position to be hard. Okay. Here again, ready for you. We're enter them with a pod and shoot investors, but we're not going to do it yet. Since it's best to keep your upper stage around until the last moment, you never know when you might need it. Anyway, first, since we ascended at about 70, but the opposite heading. This is at a 270 on the nav ball. Target more. You help flies. Turn SAS off and turn it back on again. Okay. Hold steady altitude. Let SAS do its stage and start away. It'll do it automatically. Hold on, are we? What's going on with the? Hold on a second, guys. That was weird. It was like the internet was cut off for a second there. Sorry about that. Stage 2, discard the unneeded parts en masse. Okay, you are now re-entering Kerbin's atmosphere. Make sure to keep all hands and feet inside the pod at all times. We don't want you getting burnt or anything. I don't mind the flames. Werner is a world-famous rocket scientist after all, and he's built this ship to withstand them. Last time we watched the parachute icon to wait for the right time to open the chute. This time we're going to do something a little different. Remember in the construction tutorial where you designed this vessel, you set the chute to not semi-deploy until 0.75 atmospheres of pressure? That means the chute won't perform the first of its 2 deployment steps until then, even if you activate it by staging now. On a Kerbin, 0.75 atmosphere means about 2,000 mile altitude above sea level, and the craft should be traveling slow enough by then that the chute will survive deployment. So, let's take the bold step of arming the chute now, and let the smarts in there pop it at the right altitude. You know you can trust me. Shoot the stage now by pressing A. Alright, so while we set your chute to not actually semi-deploy until around 2 kilometers, we do look out for you at mission control. We do need to ensure that the opening height is correct. You can even adjust these parameters during flight, so change to cursor mode, press X on the parachute now, and check their sliders. Don't touch the pressure slider or bad things will happen. And make sure the full deploy altitude is no less than 1,000 or you will not have enough time to slow down. Okay. Okay. Is no less. Okay. Look at the bottom of the capsule. Can't really see it from here. Now have a heat shield. That's a good point. All right. Ooh, burning up. We are coming in hot, baby. Coming in hot. Ooh. Ooh. Here we go, boys. We're gonna be hitting the ocean this time. Oh yeah, we're coming in real hot and fast. Hot and heavy. Hot and heavy, baby. Hot and heavy, hot and fast. Let's go. This is so cool. This is really dope. I wish you could do like a first person view and see inside there. I know you can see the guy in the bottom right corner, but I'd love to be able to actually see in it. Oh man. Shoot is away. Ooh, yes, sir. Oh, there's a moon. There's one of the moons. Or a moon. Mun. I guess it's called moon. This is cool. This is really cool. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to figure this out on my own. That's for sure. Slowly down to the surface we go. 300 meters away. Hope you don't drown. I know, right? Definitely don't want to do that. Alright, 100 meters. Almost there. 50 meters now. We're just hovering over the ocean. No land anywhere close. Boom! Touchdown! Welcome back and congratulations on completing and even surviving your first real mission! You've managed to launch, control your vessel in space, orient yourself correctly, and land safely. That's quite an achievement. If you want to practice this again, or you choose to revert to launch, pause me otherwise in the scenario, and be sure to check out the other tutorials. My next one is about going for orbit, and is really exciting. There's always more to learn at KSC. Very nice. That was cool. That was pretty damn cool. Learning to swim. Alright, let's end the scenario. Let's head back. And what other there's scenarios on here. Ooh, that's kind of cool. The Dino Wing is on a final approach. All you have to do is land her. It's kind of cool. This is just kind of neat. I like these scenarios. That's cool. Land the saying straight for an impact with the moon. See if you can avoid a tragedy and get Jebediah. These are kind of neat. Let's see what else we got here. Scenarios. I think we just did that one. So it's advanced construction. How to achieve orbit. Orbiting 101. This training scenario covers the basics of flying a spacecraft in orbit. Essential moves like raising and lowering outposts in principles mode, okay? Science basics. To the moon. Flying to the Mun. Land safely on Mun. Bring your brave crew back. We'll review the process of attaching two ships to one another in space. Cool. How to catch an asteroid and do it. That's kind of dope. Kind of neat. Those are kind of neat. Alright, we're going to play something else here for a little bit. What time is it? 2:46. Should we... Let's see. Yep, 1946 there. What other games do I have installed? Could do a mini midweek mania. I don't know, y'all. 2:47. Let me see what I got. You won't. It's gonna pause. You won't be able to hear me. But let me see what other games we got here. All right, guys. We can do advanced construction. We'll do the advanced construction. Let's do that. We'll do one more tutorial and then we'll call it a stream. We'll do advanced. Construction here. Alright, welcome to the third and final tutorial about construction, the advanced construction tutorial. I've had to delay some important work today to fit this in, so pay close attention as I show you how a real rocket scientist makes orbital craft go inside the VAB. Alright. Here we go. In our last tour, we built a vessel that could escape the epicenter, but it didn't have long enough oomph to escape for long. This time around, we'll cover more advanced rocket designs, concepts like multiple stages and boosters, as well as the extra parts like RCS and solar panels. You want these if you want to spend more than a few minutes in orbit. When we're done, you'll have a craft capable of ascent to orbit, orbital operations, and a safe return to Kerbal. You can test it out in the Go for Orbit tutorial, which teaches you how to make use of it all. Lots more parts available this time. That's because an orbit-capable craft is much more complex than that little puddle jumper I showed you how to make last time. However, the main principles are the same, so I hope you remember what I taught you. If you mess up and say somehow manage to delete your whole craft, you can open the radial menu and undo last. Okay. Let's do the pod. Parachute. Okay. I wish you could type it in. We're going to try to upper stage. This upper stage will finish placing the pod in orbit, and once there, provide RCS steering thrusters and electricity for the pod. It'll also provide all maneuvering capability in orbit, including the reentry burn. It's going to consist of a decoupler. We don't want to carry it home. An RCS fuel tank, a liquid fuel tank, 4 RCS thrusters, 4 solar panels, 4 batteries, and an efficient upper stage engine. It's quite the shopping list, isn't it? So let me know when you're ready to proceed. We're going to add a stat decoupler. Okay, grab a decoupler from the toolbox and attach it to the bottom of the pod. Alright. Up. RCS tank. Go to the tanks. RCS tank. Under the decoupler. Okay. Auto mono propellant in the tank, so save some weight. Change cursor mode, press X on it. 100 units. Down to 100 units. We'll go down to 100 units. Okay. It's weird. We'll be adding multiple liquid fuel tanks in the stage. So add a tiny rocket propellant. It's the FLT 100. Oh, wait, hold on. We gotta close that out. Then add a medium one below it. Add an engine. The Terrier engine provides. Let's add an LVR Terrier. Okay. Bottom of the tank. Pretty well assembled stage, if I do say so myself. It'll get you to orbit if you put enough rocket under it. While we have this reasonably simple vessel here, let's explore one of the other useful tools we have available. To make sure your ship glides controllably, some parts need to be placed carefully around a point inside the ship called the center of mass. The COM is a spot where the mass is on one side is balanced by the mass on the other side. Thrust applied through the COM will cause the ship to move without unwarranted rotation, while thrust applied to the COM will cause the ship to move without rotating. This makes COM such a useful and important thing, but we've added a tool so the assembly building can show it to you with a marker. Let's have a look at how that indicator works here. Open the radial menu, select toggle overlays. Okay. And then center of mass to overlay. And we'll have a play. It's a picture of it with the indicator highlighted. Let's adjust the fuel levels in some of the tanks to see how that affects center mass. Press X on each of the fuel tanks and drag the fuel and oxidize propellant level down to 0. Okay. Refill the tanks and we can proceed to add some of our accessories. Okay, let's put them back up. Okay. Now that you know where the COM is when the stage is full and when it is empty, you have the information you need to place RCS thrusters. RCS thrusters are found in the command and control category. Oh god, hold on. Alright, to balance COM, so the net sum of forces is balanced around this natural pivotal point. Put this from COM for said. What makes this complicated is that the COM changes during flight. As you saw, note in the career mode games, RCS systems become available until fairly late. Okay. Turn on single snap to make menu and selecting change summary. Change symmetry. Upper stage. Upper stage. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Lots of things on a craft use electrical charge. That's what us cool scientists call rocket electricity. In order to keep your batteries topped up, you'll need a way of generating power. Now, some engines generate electricity while they're running, but you don't want to keep your engine running in orbit. Your orbit would get all kinds of messed up and you'll run out of propellant. Our command pod has some batteries built into it, but to be safe, you can add more batteries and you can add solar panels or electrically generating items. We're going to do both. Switch to electrical. And radio 4. We'll use our part rotation skills to adjust the panels, replace them. That's the up, left, right, down button we used earlier. Grab the what's that panels. Hold it over the lower end of the fuel tanks. I'll go ahead and place 4 Z100 batteries. Okay. We built a nice starter upper stage, which will do well for some orbital exploration. Now we need to work on getting it up into orbit. And for that, we'll build up our lower stage. In comparison to the upper stage, it's quite simple. Just add a couple of tanks and an engine. That won't be enough alone, however, so we'll add some boosters too. Add another TRA stacked coupler on the bottom of the carrier. Oh, wait. I don't have that stacked coupler. I had the TD12. Something's not right here. Okay. I've done that. Why is it not? I did add another TR-18A. See, it's saying that... Yeah, it won't let me see. It says I need to... It's like I need to place it, and I did already. Is that a, like... glitch or something? Similar coupling. See, it says I'm not. It was on the PC when I started playing. Looks like they have transferred it to Xbox and not repaired it. Well, that really sucks. So I'm not going to be able to finish this then. That really sucks. That's a damn shame. That they didn't... Yeah, it's called the TD12, but he calls it the TR18A. Well, damn. They didn't fix the, They didn't fix the names of the couplers. That's pretty crappy. Stream has gone. No, stream is still alive. The stream is still up. That's really weird. Still showing the stream for me. Unless somebody's... hold on. Let me refresh. I recommend refreshing. Refresh. Oh, that's weird. It went black. You guys can't hear me at all? Alright, guys. I'm going to get off here. Y'all have a good day. See you guys. Which is doing that. That's so weird. It just fades to black.